Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. During the last part, I covered several Virus-Med levels, so in this part, I'll start covering levels that were submitted to the 5th official Mega Man Maker Level Design Challenge, which was titled Retro Redux. I will try covering all the levels that were submitted to this challenge. Now, I would have started with this level, but I already covered it back in part 271, so instead I'll cover the second level that was submitted to this challenge, which is Holy Fire Flame Man Redux by Doominator 500, with 31 plays and a score of 13. The main objective of this level design challenge is to create a redux/remaster/remix of a Roadmaster level or a Fortress level from the Mega Man Classic series. In this case, this is a remix of Flame Man's level from Mega Man 6. And it's gonna take a while to get through all the levels. There are at least 85 levels submitted to this level design challenge, so it's gonna take at least 15 parts to get through all the levels. If you're interested in seeing what this challenge's rules were, check out the topmost link in the description below. Also, as always, the full disclaimer of this entire LP series is linked in the description below. Also in the description are the timestamps for all the levels I cover in these parts, so if you want to check for levels covered, expand the description. What's down here? What's up there first? An alternate pathway, so I'll have to get back to this route. I'll probably need to replay through the stage at least once. I guess this is where the two pathways link up with each other, so let me reset and take the upper pathway now. Unlike the bottom route, once I get up here, it's a point of no return. Well, that route was slightly harder, but about the same length. This stage mainly focuses on the puka riding segments. That section was getting a bit too long for my own taste. Could we have a checkpoint soon, by the way? Because the oil fires are instant death. This is likely the final section of the stage anyway. And it was. Overall, this was an okay level, but those oil fire sections were dragging on a bit. They could have been halved in length, and the challenge would still exist. So nothing more to say about this stage. It was okay at best, kind of boring though. Second up is Mega Man 1 Wily Stage 1 by a Mega fan, with 18 plays and a score of -6. That negative score is quite worrisome. Going to be one of the shorter levels, I see. And we only have access to the Mega Man 1 gear, with the exception of the block dropper, which is the substitute for the super arm. You could have at least put a better background instead of the solid cyan background the original stage had. Is it just me, or is the level structure almost exactly the same? Or rather exactly the same with the exception of these extra weapon blocks, replacing the sections where you need to use a super arm. Damage boosting would actually be a safer option. Yep, this stage is exactly the same as Wily 1 for the most part. That's why I got a negative score. But that's different. I don't remember spikes in front of the door. I need to position it exactly. Somehow I got it my second or third attempt. A replica of the Yellow Devil, I guess. And of course, all their weaknesses are the Thunder Beam. So this stage was almost entirely a blatant copy of the original Wily Stage 1 for Mega Man 1. Next up is Ringman Ringmix by Darkness, with 42 plays and a score of 12. Looking to be at least 30 to 40 screens long. Once again, I wish there was an estimated screen counter on the enter screen. Somewhat of a similar start to Ringman's original level, but it works out. It nicely introduces the enemies and gimmicks. But that's different. I don't remember that opening to the left. I'll gladly take that, thank you very much. A poor man's replication of the Hippo mini-boss. A much easier rendition too. All the gimmicks and enemies were introduced in their lonesome, now they're starting to be combined. We have the Chainsaw Gabios, the Yamasees, or rather the Lyrics, as well as the ring and coil platforms. Now they're being placed over spikes. There is something here. This hole in the wall looks suspicious. Dive missile in item 1. This is gonna take a while. I wish I had the bigger charge shot here. Good checkpoint placement though. By this point the original stage would have ended, I think. So this is the final section of the level. There was a section like this in the original level, but this is tougher. At least it feels tougher. I spy 2 holes in the wall on the right. I was hoping I wouldn't have to use it there. Well, it is worth it. I guess this is the boss's weakness. But what's this? Even more secrets in the wall. This stage was packed with some extra goodies and secrets as long as you paid attention. Time to face off against Ringman himself. Overall, this was, at the very least, a decent Roadmaster remix. The best one so far in this episode. Next up is Search for Pharaoh Man Base Remix by Skull Knight, with 13 plays and a score of 1. Looks like this level is going to be one of the longer ones. The loading time was over 25 seconds long. That looks rather suspicious down there, but I don't want to check that. Even though this is a longer quicksand section, there is enough variance in the terrain to make it not boring. Into the pyramid we go. And we're outside again. I guess that was the desert oasis, seeing that tree over there. Now we're entering the pyramid, I guess. I knew that was gonna happen at least once. I was standing too far on the edge. That's why I'm always wary when on top of those crash lifts. At most, it was a minute's walk back. Is there anything to the right? I want to double check. Yeah, there is. That. Still, I want to see what's in that teleporter first. And we are well rewarded for taking that alternate route. It acts like a shortcut, but I want to see where this shortcut starts. So far, this is my second favorite level of this episode. I'm liking the challenges and aesthetics. And I guess this marks the end of the level. All these levels were made before the version 1.5 update hit the server, so they cannot have multiple bosses. So I don't need to defeat multiple bosses at a time to clear the level. Overall, this stage had a nice difficulty curve. The hardest part was probably near the end and during the crash list segment. Next up is Retro Redux Skullman by insert name here 8 with 46 plays and a score of 12. Going to be one of those longer levels as well, at least 30 to 40 screens long. This first screen is pretty similar to the original. When I said first screen, I meant first section. Nice introduction to these enemies in isolation. And gradually tapering up the difficulty. So far so good. Quite a bit easier than I expected it to be. I expected there to be a lot more spikes. Gradually there are a lot more spikes now, and the stage is gradually getting more new as I get further through it. And there's nice variation in the terrain, despite only using 4 to 5 types of enemies. There is probably a secret to the right. Or maybe not. The stage is starting to drag a bit, but it's still fun. I still feel if there were more enemies added to the level, it'd be a bit better, if there was more variety in that front, and perhaps put some optional challenges for some extra goodies. That's it. Of all the levels I played in this episode, this felt the most like a Roadmaster level. A classic Roadmaster level from Mega Man 4. Although a bit elongated, it feels 1.5 times the length of a traditional Roadmaster stage, perhaps even 2 times longer. Otherwise, I think I'll give it a thumbs up. Next up is Mr. Freezeman by JLRS13 with 27 plays and a score of 6. Let's see how this remix of a Mega Man 7 level fares. Oh, that's why it does it. That's clever. A nice idea of using the icicles to block the pathways of the shield attackers. Checkpoint placement is on point as well. I'm really liking how JLR is using the icicle text like this. I haven't seen any previous levels that use this enemy in this way. Next up is Spark Gimmicks Retro Redux Challenge by Scan with 30 plays and a score of 10. This will likely be the final level I'll cover in this episode. I've covered 7 levels so far, and skipped over one of them as I already covered it during a previous episode. This feels like a Fortress level, as it already assumes you understand how the Sparkman platforms work. Starting with most of the special weapons and utilities from Mega Man 3. Definitely a stage for more skilled players. Maybe not very skilled players, but moderately skilled. Oh, that was my bad. I should have just used the rush jet there. This is a much easier way of doing it. No thanks, I know what's upcoming. I could do this, but I'll probably die several times. And that was the climax of the level. Certainly the hardest level I covered in this episode, mainly because it already assumes you understand how the Sparkman platforms work, and the initial challenges with the Sparkman platforms place you quite close to deadly spikes. I will say that the challenges were varied here, and the stage wasn't elongated. So overall, out of the 7 levels I covered in this episode, my favorite one would be Ringman Ringmix by Darkness, with an honorable mention going to Mr. Freezeman by JLR-S13. Well then, thanks for watching, and have a nice day. Toodles!